Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Migraine Innovation Challenge and Hack. I am Harald. I will be emceeing for the next 3 days. It's going to be a very intense 3 days. Why? Because there's 1 billion people in the world who are really looking forward for us making a positive change in this area of migraine. So how can we improve the lives of those 1 billion people? That's what we are here for. And today, we are focusing on 3 big challenges. One of them being, how can we make migraines easier to recognize and more efficient to diagnose? Second challenge, how can we help migraine patients to understand and self-manage their conditions in a better way? And third one, how can we make tracking migraines easier for both the patient and doctor? So these are some of the key questions that we are seeking answers for during this next 3-day hackathon. How many of you have been at hackathons like this before? All right, so you are familiar with the main procedure. Just to give you an overview how this thing works is that we have 3 days to change the world. And the first day is for finding a team, finding an idea, and forming teams around that idea. So we had 14 ideas that were sent to us, and 10 of them are here today. So, and if you forgot to change, if you forgot to send in your idea, there's actually an opportunity to add yours as well. But 10 ideas will be pitched today. From those 10 ideas, we will form teams. The minimum number of team members will be 3 members. So if it happens that you won't find any other people to your team, then the next thing is that you have to find another team. Yeah, that's a tricky thing. So that's why this ideas pitching part is actually very important, because all the idea owners will come here and sell the idea that their idea should be the one that people want to invest their weekend to execute. All the idea owners, wave your hands. So this will be your moment to show that you got to join my idea. I understand we have some really international guests here as well. From Estonia, wave your hand, Estonia. Some Estonians, Latvia. Yes, at least one Latvian. Lithuania. Okay, Finland. Finland, okay. Shout out some other exotic countries, please. Ukraine, all the way, you came all the way from Ukraine to here. It will be an intense weekend. Anywhere else? Azerbaijan, well, we are an attractive event. More, Italy, more. Bangladesh, what was the? Germany, all right. Mexico. Is anyone want to trump this guy from Mexico? Latvians, you can't do it. You're closer. It won't be trumping. Any other countries? Spain, wow, wow. So I'm excited to see so many people coming here for this weekend from all over the world to figure out the big thing, which is how can we improve the lives of those who are currently suffering due to migraine. By the end of tonight, we want you to be in a team that you can trust to work with for the next 3 days. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be the most intense hacking day. So that's the day when you try to build your initial solutions. What makes this hackathon very special is that we actually have a lot of migraine patients here as well. So if in usual hackathons, it's like you have to go on the streets and talk to your customers, then here actually we have the potential users of your solution. So you can actually really quickly validate your idea, get some feedback, and improve your product. And that's what Saturday is all about, actually building that very thing. And you will get some help from the mentors as well, who will help to improve the idea. What the final day, what Sunday will all about, is about presenting what it is that you figured out and showing that, hey, our idea is something that you should invest your time or mentoring in and make it really happen. So it's kind of like build your team, build the solution, and show it. So that's what we're heading for the next 3 days. And today's agenda will be until 12 o'clock. Since we're in a bank, so this means that if it's 12 o'clock, they will kick us out. Yeah, because money will be flying around after 12 o'clock here in the bank. And since we're also in the bank, then you're not allowed to go somewhere else from this perimeter. We can only be on this floor. Otherwise, you will get all the money. Yeah, you might get lost and might find too much money, and then you're not so interested in saving the world. Or maybe the other way. So this is one of the key elements. This is our area. This is our floor. This is where we play. And every day at 12 o'clock, they kick us out. Tomorrow morning, we can get in at 8:30, not before, because money will be flying around before that. And same thing with Sunday. So this is just an organizational side. If you really get lost and if you really get confused, then on this tag, there's a phone number, which is a very small phone number, because it's for emergency only, and then you have your magnifying glass and you can figure it out. So if you have any SOS questions. And also, you probably came in from that side of the elevator. That's the place we can, if you need to go out, then only that way. Otherwise, you will end up in a bank office downstairs and they will make money out of you. That's also not a good thing. So this is just an organizational side, but now we're heading for some fancy part. Basically, we'll build some initial keynotes for you to help you figure out what this migraine is all about, how are we currently tackling it, and to get you tuned to the problem, to get you tuned to the issue itself. And after that, we will start inviting the idea owners on the stage to pitch it. And once they have pitched it, then they have those posters on the walls with their ideas, and they will ask people to join their ideas. And then we'll build teams, and magic will happen. That's the plan. But to start out with our keynote session, I would first like to invite on the stage the Minister of Health and Labor, and also the patron of the Migraine Innovation Challenge and Hack. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Riina Sikkut.
It's truly an honor to be a patron of such a global hackathon to solve a global problem. I'm not talking about migrants, the medical side or the personal side, but rather what's the public sector view, what's the expectation, what is the issue we need to solve for our societies. We have health services, we have support services that are usually designed for a standard patient. For an average case, we talk about standard dosages of pharmaceuticals. But migraines are very different. And people who suffer from migraines, they have very different goals in their life. They have very different lives. And in order to support these lives with migrants, we need personalized services, person-centered support and care. And how to achieve this? This is not a question of an act or a regulation. This is a question of designing these services. Design, whether it's information, whether it's self-management tools, or a tool for doctors to work with the person to offer relief or treatment. This is something that can only be co-created or created together with people who actually have the personal experience with migraines, people who have the medical knowledge of the disease, progression of the disease, and also people from other disciplines or other sectors, because some of the solution, it's not that much about health or healthcare, but rather how to integrate something into our lives that would be comfortable, easy to use, something that will be part of our everyday dealings or workings, and that can actually offer this help and relief that is needed. So I encourage you. I have no idea what the 10 ideas that were selected are, and actually at first I was surprised that migraines and hackathon, that what can be the solution, or what are the options that the current technology and the best knowledge about service design can offer to people with migraines. So I'm curious. I hope you'll have exciting 48 hours, roughly, yeah. And looking forward to the solutions that the global, I don't know, community, migraine community can start using in the next few years to be better able to lead their life, live their life as they wish to do it, without thinking about the constant threat or of migraine. So good luck, and looking forward to the Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, Riina. We also have greetings from Cesar Conception, from Central Europe Cluster Head from Novartis. Also, by the way, if you build something really smart solution to address migraine, then we have people from Novartis here, and well, maybe might be some interesting opportunities for cooperation. And they are the partner for Migraine Innovation Challenge and Hack, and apparently Cesar isn't here in person, but he recorded a special video message for us, so we'll check it out.
Head of Central and Eastern Europe for Novartis. Tallinn, Estonia. Wow, what a great place. I actually was in Tallinn last summer with our CEO and the leadership team for Novartis to actually experience the digitalization that the great country of Estonia has done, and we were actually super impressed. Digital, why digital? Well, digital is one of the key pillars of our future innovation and strategy, global strategy for Novartis that is being led by our CEO, Vas. And what better thing that combine digital with one of our key disease areas, in this case, migraine. Well, this is an area or a disease area that is totally new, for Novartis, and we're trying to find new ways, innovative ways, and where we can serve migraine patients. And I hope that you, together with the rest of the participants, are able to share, to challenge each other, and that hopefully will come great ideas on how we can actually make life easier and more comfortable for all of these migraine sufferers. So I just hope that you actually enjoy and have a great time in Estonia, and that lots of innovation will come forward, and that we can all enjoy and share that together with everyone that would need it. Thank you so much.
And correct me if I'm wrong, we have more people from Novartis here, is that correct? Do we have? Yeah, yeah. Raise your hand. So if you want to network with people from Novartis, then in Latvia. Okay, so he drove to Latvia, recorded a video for Estonians, and went back. That's how the digital thing works. So we have some Novartis people hanging around here, so feel free to network with them as well. As promised, we have some keynotes that will help us understand the whole thing of why we should address the migraine. And to address that topic, we have the neurologist at the headache clinic of Tartu University Hospital. It's like the main thing. If you're looking for a solution for a headache, and if you're looking for a clinic, it's the place in Tartu University. And we have the head of that clinic over here. He's also the board member at the European Headache Federation. But without further ado, let's welcome on the stage Dr. Mark Brzezinski, please.
Thank you. Wow, it's a completely unexpected experience that I will actually get now. So I even prepared some slides. The main idea of my talk actually is to give an overview what the heck is a migraine. Those of maybe you who suffer from it themselves, they know. But many people who do not have personal experience with migraine, it's really difficult for them to grasp the whole gravity of the position being a migraine patient. So basically speaking, migraine is one of the primary headache disorders. Primary means that it is not caused by some other pathology, some lesion in the brain or whatever the cause, so it's a primary headache disorder. Generally speaking, these headache disorders actually are priority disorders for many international health-related organizations like World Health Organization or International Association of Study of Pain. Speaking about headache, it's one of the types of pain conditions, headache, and pain is designed to be a sort of alarm for us, for our body, to understand that something is going on. There might be some injury, and we need to deal with that. But in case of primary headache disorders, the pain is not an alarm, but it's a symptom that becomes from the brain. So migraine is a brain disorder. And headache, and especially migraine, is a top 10 disabling healthcare problem through all the medicine. If you take all the medicine, top 10 is migraine. And if you take separately women and men, and we know that migraine is more prevalent in women, then it's top 3 reason for disability. And we actually moved quite a lot from the times when Hippocrates lived. We're in 21st century last time I checked. And when in ancient time, doctors vowed to preserve the life of people. Now in 21st century, we can preserve body for almost indefinitely because medicine is advanced. We have medicines, we have machines that can maintain body alive. So in 21st century, the main priority is quality of life. How do we live? How we can enjoy life? How we can contribute to social system? How can we contribute to our families? So it's all about health, all about quality of life. So speaking about different neurological conditions, migraine is the most prevalent neurological condition. If you combine men and women together, it's roughly 12 to 16% actually. If you look separately for women, it's every third or fourth woman. So statistically speaking, some women here might have their own experience with migraine, which probably might motivate you additionally. So, and if you compare it to other neurological disorders, then it's clear that these are not so prevalent. And another problem is that it's not only the most prevalent, but it is also the most expensive neurological condition. Just recent report made in the European Union said that brought out clearly that migraine costs to our societies more than epilepsy, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis combined. So it's very expensive for society, very expensive disorder. And that's why many organizations dealing with healthcare systems, they prioritize this whole field, especially if you also know that many migraineurs have comorbidity with other conditions. They might not only have migraine, they might have anxiety disorders, mood disorders, sexual life disorders, insomnias. So it's a broad field. And it has a very large impact. So how doctors see it? Doctors diagnose migraine based on what patients tell them. It's, the pain is something that you cannot put on picture, or you can't measure it taking a blood sample. So you ask patients. They describe what they feel, how they feel it. And based on that, we diagnose different primary headache disorders. Fortunately, nowadays we have a document called the International Classification of Headache Disorders, which is published just recently this year. It's very fresh, and when we fit some description into a certain clinical picture, then we have a diagnosis. So basically speaking, there is no X-ray or no machine that can make a picture and show, yeah, that's your migraine. No, that's the brain that works differently, and this is migraine. And when we manage patients with migraine, we actually, long-term, after we establish the diagnosis, we start treatment. We follow those patients to make sure that all our recommendations actually improve their quality of life. And for that, we use diaries, headache diaries. There are two main information that we gather from diaries that we need to know. It's how frequent headaches are, so we ask patients to write down the number of days. And then we also want to know how many painkillers they take, because there are limitations. And if patients with frequent and chronic headache conditions start overusing painkillers, they get secondary problems called medication overuse headaches on top of their migraine. So this is also important information. And speaking about some different digital solutions, taking into account that the whole diagnostic procedure and follow-up is actually based on how we talk to patients, how we get information from patients back to doctors. Even some time ago, we started thinking that, come on, we're living in the age of digital solutions, so why not design something that could help you, in some cases maybe recognize the condition, so that would be sort of a diagnostic approach, and on the other hand, how we can improve the follow-up of patients, which means that in our system, for instance, if patient with migraine visits a headache specialist or doctor, they have a waiting list to wait, which is 5 to 6 months now, and after the consultation, they go back to the general practitioner. If they want to come back again for headache specialist, they have to wait another 5 to 6 months. So in meanwhile, in some cases, we need feedback from patients. And for that, it's not possible that we invite patients, you know, just come by whatever you like. It doesn't work like that. But having a sort of a digital solution that helps us link information between electronic case records, which doctors have about their patients, with these diary information that patient put in their, let's say, app or calendar, digital calendar. If this information can be linked, then it improves the follow-up of patients. Based on all that, there are several expectations that I, as a doctor, might present, but I try to think outside the box and try to visualize different levels of this question. And definitely there is a need for such solutions in nowadays on every level. It's important for patients, which means that whatever we design, whatever we provide patients with, it has to be user-friendly, it has to be easy to manage, easy to understand, it should be largely available and might be even useful for patients to be informative, so maybe they get some feedback for themselves from the solution. Then there is a huge group of those interested in such solutions are general practitioners. They are not headache specialists, but they work with headache patients, with migraine patients on the everyday basis. And for them, it is also, there are some outcomes that can be, in an ideal situation, very useful. This is mainly diagnostic support and then follow-up, where we are looking at treatment results and can modify treatment and recommendations for patients. Then there are general neurologists who follow patients. Those general neurologists who are not deep into the headache field, they also might gain from some diagnostic support from whatever the solution we can provide them. Of course, headache specialists will not use the solution to diagnose conditions, and the computer can never diagnose. It can help doctors or patients to get to it. It's not possible that the machine starts diagnosing things. No, then that will be I'll be back, Terminator. No, that what we don't want. So headache specialists look for follow-up options. And then there is science. All the presently available solutions for treatment based on science, preclinical science, clinical science, and the more we understand about, with more information we get, scientific information about some certain field of medicine, there is a higher chance that we will at one day get new possibilities for treatment. So there is an outcome for scientists who can use it for clinical headache research. So this solution definitely has to be user-friendly at all levels, because if you design something which patients or users do not understand, they will never use it, basically. It should be linkable with between the levels, which improve information movement. And of course, exporting data for scientific research, it of course has to be backed up by certain legislation as well. But once again, it would be very useful for those dealing with the clinical science in the field of migraine. So these are maybe ideas what we will come up with by the end of the Sunday. I hope it will be what we actually expect or what we hope for. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mark. So Mark is taking all the pressure off for the work we're planning to do. Next, we have a video clip that explains us how is life with a migraine. So for those of you who haven't felt it with your head, then this video clip helps us to understand what are the implications of a migraine. So we'll check it through. As I said, what makes this hackathon special is that we have many people who actually are the potential users of the solutions that you are creating here on this very event. And we also want to bring in the perspective, what it feels like to live with a migraine and what are the expectations for a solution to be built. And we have here Katrina Laks ready to share her perspective on the way. Let's welcome her with an applause on the stage.
So, hello, I'm Katrina. As you saw, Jane had a migraine. I also have a migraine. I'm 34. I have had migraine for over 10 years. I can't exactly remember the day when my migraine turned chronic, but I can remember Mark just spoke about the migraine diary. I can remember the months then I couldn't put exactly the days I didn't have a headache. When all the days was headache, and it was easier to mark the days I didn't have a headache or nausea or something else considering migraine. But maybe it's easier to speak if everybody who has migraine would raise their hands. So, and now everybody who knows somebody who has migraine. And so we're a lot. So it's not, I'm not one in a billion. We know everybody, somebody who has migraine. So migraine is really important. And I have, so a little about digital solutions. I have been using a migraine app, I think for 6-7 years. I don't remember the one on Android. It was easy, like a migraine calendar. Now, for 4 years, it has been Migraine Buddy. My doctor supports using it. Some of the doctors don't support using it. My family practitioner didn't support using it, wanted to see the paper one. So it's hard in the system when you have to have the paper one and the digital one. So once I went to the doctor and I had to show the paper one also, I wrote it down from the app. And then it was like, you had done also in the same pen? Yes, in the corridor, so it's funny. Why migraine? Migraine is not just a headache. Society, including migraine patients, lacks knowledge about migraine and migraine self-help solutions. Migraine patients themselves can help themselves very much. Migraine patients can mark up their migraines, get to know their migraine better, and thereby have less migraine attacks, take less over-the-counter or prescription drugs, do everything to help themselves, not just go to the doctor and tell, make me whole and healthy again. People have to acknowledge that migraine may grow in time. It may grow chronic. You may have more migraine days in a month than days without migraine. And as we saw, everybody knows somebody who has migraine. Has Dr. Brashinsky already said migraine affects almost every side of life. Quality of your ability to spend time with family, the missed birthdays, children's school and kindergarten events, your capability to achieve more at work, your ability to train or go out or for example, in my case, go to a concert with loud music and strobo effects. I can't go. I get a migraine. Connected Health Cluster grouped 5 migraine and headache patients just to for this event to test one migraine app. I'll show it later. Now the rest of the talk will mainly be on that app and based on these patients. Mainly, these patients were female, as shown in blue. A few of them were male, and mainly they were in the age group of 21 to 30. I think you can't see it back there. It's shown in yellow. A lot of them were also in 31 to 40 subgroup and in 31 to 50. So the main age of having migraine is from 20 to 50 and being female. The test group characteristics were following. The migraine was in most cases diagnosed by a doctor, not by Google, and most of the patients had migraine without aura. Aura means visual disturbances or tingling of hand or nose or feeling weak of one side of the body. And the patients in this test group had 3 to 5 days of migraine in a month, the most, and up to 15 or more days in a month, but only a few of them had so much migraine days. I think those patients had chronic migraine. The test group pain levels were following. Most of them had pain numbers from 6 to 8. In my case, 6 is the pain I can't work anymore or make food for my children, and 8 is something that I can't get out of the bed. The 9 is the most severe migraine attack I have had. I haven't had 10. So the migraine attacks in this group are crazy. But the patients relieve their migraine mainly in dark room and silence and long rest, sleep a lot. Mostly they use over-the-counter drugs. Some of them also use prescription drugs. And a few of them need medical aid. This means ambulance or ER visit for a migraine attack. Maybe using a digital aid, it can be avoidable, or using the drugs can be less or at least looked after. The app the patients tested was following. Migraine Buddy is a mobile migraine diary. These patients tested altogether for approximately 4 weeks. I have used Migraine Buddy for 3.5 years. They say themselves that they are the most popular mobile migraine diary at the moment. They have over 1 million people who have used it, but not using it now. And one thing that they are doing is that they are also raising patients' awareness, sending them newsletters about migraine, migraine diagnosis, new migraine medicines, and etc. What these patients thought about Migraine Buddy. At start, they were 50. I think here were a lot of them. So and 25 of them started using it. Of them, most liked the app at the start. And they thought that they will use it in the future. They liked that it was easy. They could mark triggers. Trigger is something that that induces migraine attack. That they could get migraine data reports and analytics. The interface was nice. It was easy to personalize, and it had a lot of details. If we analyzed what the test group did not like, it was about the same. So when you are going to make something for, not for a migrainer, just something for a person, you have to make something for everybody, and everybody won't like it. So the others did not like the interface. They had to make too many clicks. It was time consuming. It was complicated. They had too much information. The interface was dark. It was too much details. It was not intuitive enough. They had no choice of Estonian and Russian, which is important in Estonia. So from my point of view, the dark interface is nice when you have a migraine. It's this white one is really bad. My eyes are really sensitive when a headache comes, and but the clicks to make are in Migraine Buddy like hell. I put it on, and it's everything I do when a migraine comes. Everything else I'll do later. But it would be easier if the app would be usable during the migraine. So the test group used the Migraine Buddy for additional 3 weeks. And after that, they were able to top the functions they liked more, and say what they are missing or what could be better. They liked the calendar. They liked the trigger selector. They liked the sleep tracker. Most of them liked the migraine data analytics. And a lot of them liked the weather observation tool also. All of them said that it should be in Estonian or Russian. And very many of them said that they have to make too many clicks. When having an attack, it's too many clicks to make when using a Migraine Buddy. Somebody suggested to make an easier version, and somebody suggested to make it personalizable for your own migraine. So our local patient group conclusions would be following. The mother tongue app is it's a problem if it's not in mother tongue. The patients would use it more. It's a thin line, but they would use it more if it was prescribed like a pill by a doctor. And they would really like the possibility to share it with a headache doctor or nurse. And 44% of the patient group would be willing to pay for the app if they could personalize it to their own needs. And here are the things that in a word cloud that the migraine patients wish for Christmas, except not having a migraine attack. What came up was finding mitigators, also not only triggers, the personalization, the sharing with doctor, the medication tracker, how many medications have you taken through a month you don't want to overuse, over-the-counter or prescription headache medications, the flexibility of the app, or and somebody said that I can't find it now, but somebody came up that the digital solution would be nice if it would foresee migraine coming. That it would say in the morning that today you will have a migraine, be careful, take your pills, and then you will not have a migraine. So a Wonder app would be nice. But until then, this is a Wonder app from my 5-year-old. It's a magical pillow. I hope it will be an inspiration for you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So this is the perspective. And then Katrina will be around here for those 3 days, and she will also be kind of keeping and building the community of those who are suffering from migraine. So go and talk to her and be available for her for building that community that is available for all the teams throughout this hackathon to help you to really make these deep dive interviews to figure out what is the real life and what could work. So one more thing. So we really understand that it is a problem. It is a very painful problem indeed. And this means in startup world, it means it's a problem worth solving. But is the method that we are using a good method for tackling that kind of problems? That's one question to address. And we have here an example from a similar hackathon on the topic of HIV. And this is one of the most promising digital health startups that was actually created on HIV Digital Hackathon. And we have here on the stage Paula Gink, the CEO of HI-INF, or how you pronounce it?
It's HINF.
HINF. And she will tell the story of how they came to the hackathon, how it impacted their thing. And let's find out, is the hackathon a good way to figure out a solution for the problem? I'll set the slides up.
Sure.
One moment.
Meanwhile, good evening, everyone. My name is Paula Gink, or Paula Gink, and I am 25 years old, and I am the co-founder and CEO of HINF, short for Health Information. So I'm here today to tell you about myself, which is something I've actually never done before. I usually just talked about the company, about the product. So this is new to me, a bit nerve-wracking at the same time, but I'll get used to it. So let's start from the beginning, an embarrassing family photo. So this was taken in 2016. My father is an entrepreneur, but I like to call him a businessman, and my mother is a medical doctor. This is my graduation photo. I graduated from Aberystwyth University, where I studied law. And after my graduation, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I had 3 main options. The first one was to continue my studies in the UK. The second one was to stop studying for a while and work in the legal field. And the third one was to be spontaneous. So you can probably guess which one I chose by standing here. I'm definitely not in the legal field. After my graduation, when I flew back home, my mother started telling me about a super cool project that she was a part of. She was invited to be a part of the jury as a medical expert. And the project was called HIV Digital. And that was actually the first time I've ever heard of the word of hackathon. I even had to Google it because I had no clue what it meant to get a better understanding. And shortly after, we just, for fun, started tossing around different ideas that we had and that came to our mind. And we soon realized that who would be better to submit an idea if not us, if not the person who worked with the patients. And me, myself, I had worked by my mother's side for several summers, assisting her with different projects. So I also had a pretty good understanding of how the patients' lives were, what they were doing, and what the supposable problems were. So we went to the hackathon. We decided to form a team before going in. We grabbed some medical experts, some nurses, some doctors. We got some patients. We got some IT people. And we got some entrepreneurial minds. And we decided that we had a really great idea. It really wasn't. And we submitted it. And it actually went really great for us. We got fundings from both rounds. And we started our project. About the hackathon, I would say so much that it seems that a weekend is a really long time to think about your idea, what you have and what you want to do, but it actually isn't. It goes by super fast, so be prepared for that. And I think the main tips I would have is, firstly, if you have one-on-ones with experts, judges, whoever else, take the most of it. And don't be afraid to ask, so to speak, the wrong questions, because most of the time those are the right questions to ask. And also, you don't have to stick with your initial idea. Think outside the box. Rely on the information that you get and do something wonderful, something great, something big. So we won all the money. Probably from outside, everything seemed really great. It actually wasn't. That's when the hustle started with the project. None of us from the team really had an idea what we were doing and what we should do. But luckily, we had all the nice people from Connected Health Cluster and Technopol who really helped us out. So once again, don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that's the key here. After the HIV Digital Hackathon, we have been working with different hospitals. We have been successfully taken part of different other projects. And we also even went to Africa last year to seek spontaneous partner hospitals over there. And yes, today, now I'm here. And for all of you competing, my fellow contestants, I would like to wish you good luck. And I hope you take the most out of this weekend, enjoy the experience, and make something great. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. So Paula, you will actually be also presenting an idea, right? All right. So we have some like veteran hackathon people here. Before we start with the pitching section, we got to warm ourselves up just having a chat with our neighbor. Because for an Estonian, for example, it's a very big step to come here and speak in front of the audience. But as in sports, you need to warm yourself up and then you can do your magic sprint or marathon, whatever the thing is. When it comes to pitching, it's more like a sprint. So the question I invite you to discuss with your neighbor, you can be in pairs of 2 or maybe 3 or even more, is that how do you want to address this issue with migraine? How would you want to address it? Do you maybe have an idea of your own special way how to address this problem? And another aspect, what would you, in an ideal case scenario, what would you like to have by the end of this weekend? So if everything goes well, they will join your idea, you will join some other exciting idea. What would be the ideal outcome of this weekend for you? How would you like to address the problem of migraine, and what would be the ideal outcome of this hackathon? So let's take a couple of minutes, find yourself a partner to have a conversation with, and explain how would you address migraine, and how would you like this event to end for you? What would you like to take away from this event in that sense? A couple of minutes for conversation. thank your partner. Say thanks for sharing. So now you're all warmed up, and next we're heading for the pitching phase. Before we start with the pitching, I'll just go through some of the elements. For example, what the jury members are expecting from this event. So as a result of this competition, what they're expecting to have is about 2 or 3 perspective solutions that will emerge and are worthy to invest by organizers and deploy in Estonia and beyond. So they are looking for 2 or 3 ideas that actually we could build something bigger out of it, and we could reach out to those, perhaps even those billion people across the world. That's what they would like to see. There are some prizes that we'll be giving. For example, a €5,000 development grant from an opportunity to cooperate with Novartis. Well, that's actually a nice starting point, right? Also, you can get €5,000 worth of expertise for the next 6 months by Technopost Startup Incubator, which means that if you show that your idea is very promising, you'll have the necessary support to further develop your idea for next 6 months. Another thing is premium level membership for 12 months by Connected Health Cluster, which is helping you to connect with all the healthcare people and network and helping you move forward with your idea. And a bonus thing, 4 tickets worth of €99 to each to Latitude 59. So that's also a nice thing to go to a startup conference event. So you can choose which prize do you want to get, and then it's just for the next 3 days. Last one, yeah, okay. So decide in your mind which one are you heading. Oh, okay, I'll head for this one. And what the jury will be evaluating on Sunday when they see your presentations, mostly, is there a clear understanding of the need, of the thing that you're tackling? And how good is the idea for addressing that need? And also, how sustainable is that project? That if we would start out with it, would it last? Or would it just bring a temporary relief? Or would it somehow bring a longer impact? So these are some of the components that the jury members will be evaluating when they will be listening to your ideas. For the pitching phase now, we have a 2-minute pitch. We have this funky timer over here that will start beeping when the 2 minutes is over. No pressure. And we have maximum up to 3 questions. So if you feel you want to specify something, but I would like to point out that actually all of you have an opportunity to go out and in person talk to the idea owners later. So if you feel that there is a question you would like to address with the larger audience, then we have an opportunity to do that after the pitch. But if you feel it's more like a thing I could also ask one-on-one, then we have time for that. Because what happens is that once you pitch over here, once your 2 minutes is over, then we ask you to create a poster that would, in 1 sentence, describe what your idea is all about and what kind of talent are you looking for your team. And then we'll find some interesting locations, because this room is a bit different from an ordinary room, doesn't have that many walls. So we'll stick those posters to some of the posts and some of the wall locations around this room. And all the idea owners will be hanging around their poster and bringing all the interested people in. In Estonia, we call it aggressively waiting for customers to show up. So that's what's going to happen. And by saying that joke, actually what I mean is that when you pitch over here, it's the moment to really express how you firmly believe that this is the way to go, because you're actually convincing 3 or even more other people to put their time for this idea. So the pitching is an important part, but you'll also have an opportunity to explain the technology or the concept behind your idea later on while people come for one-on-one conversations. I would actually say that the purpose of a pitch is to get people interested in your idea, that they will come to you later on, and then you could explain it in a further detail. So you don't have to go into the mechanics of your solution, but rather make them feel that, wow, this should be a viable way to go. Name of the idea, one-liner, what it does, and competence is missing. So it depends what you're building. If you're building an app, then for the weekend you probably need some developers as well, and then designers. If you're building something else, perhaps you might need something else. In a startup world, there's usually these 3 elements you need in a minimum viable team. One of them is the hipster. The hipster is the guy who makes it look really nice and creates a really good user experience. The second guy is the hacker. The hacker is actually the guy who builds that thing. And then there's the hustler, which is the person who is able to create outside interest so that media would talk about you, so that migraine patients would be like, oh, that's an interesting thing, right? Because if you have an amazing product and no one knows about it, then it won't fly. So this is usually, if you're building some like a technology app or something, then usually this is the minimum viable team that you need. But if your solution isn't about the app, then you might have like different talents you need. If it's maybe more of a special therapy method or something, which is not so digital or not so app related, you don't necessarily have to ask a developer to your team. By the way, developers in the room, developers, raise your hand. Okay, these guys are usually really pricey on this kind of hackathon, so yeah. They like the way they are always treated, like, come to my team. Any user experience designers who resonate with design, okay? And who are the main hustlers in the room? Who are really good at marketing ideas and getting things going and getting some initial traction. And if you didn't recognize yourself, don't worry, build your own dream team, right? The main thing is that you will be able to move forward with your idea for the next 2 or 3 days. So back to the format, 2-minute pitch. And we have about 10 ideas who want to pitch. After all those 10 pre-registered ideas have pitched, then we also give a stage for those who feel like, oh, I got so inspired, I have this wonderful idea. And you can also join in as an 11th or 12th idea as well. Who wants to be first? You? Yeah. What? Let's bring her on the stage with a welcoming applause. Yes. Can you say the name of your presentation? I'll open it up.
It's online, so yeah, it's this one. I don't know. It's supposedly online.
Which name? Which name?
Yeah, it's this, but it shouldn't be Microsoft Word. It should be a link.
Okay, I'll get the link from there and I'll set it up.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I'll set it up soon. I'll give you the remote. This goes forward. You can wave for the crowd and get acquainted to them. Smile, it will be easier then. Yeah.
I hope I'll be able to use this because if I can't,
Then we'll use an arrow. Then we'll use an arrow. So, Prezi presentation coming first. Yes. And I'll set the timer over here. If this thing starts beeping, then the time is over.
Okay. So this arrow should be.
That's right. Yeah, Prezi is always an interesting thing. So try out this arrow.
But it's still loading.
Still loading. Yeah, it's a big elephant over there.
Yeah, it's a big elephant. Okay, I'll try.
Is it your? Yeah, it's your. Try. It works. Okay. And the time goes. I'll give you the mic as well because we have a live transmission. There are other people waiting as well, checking out.
You want to make me more nervous?
Yeah. President of the United States probably is just, oh, there's some hackathon in Estonia. Casually checking it out. No pressure.
Okay, hello everybody. Okay, that even works. Yeah, there's a blue elephant. You know why there is a blue elephant? Actually, I was looking what to put in the middle, and at first I thought that, okay, this is about migraine, so I guess I'll put a person who is having a headache. But then I realized that, come on, this is very sad, and the app is actually supposed to help people who are having headache to stop having them, like having them less of them, and to find some solution. So this elephant is the solution. And it's a happy elephant, and he hasn't got a headache. So I'm presenting an e-diary, so it's elephant diary. And so I'll tell first about myself a little bit, and then I'll explain what the diary will do. Okay, hopefully it works, yes. Yeah, so in this event, I would like to be a product owner. So I would like to narrow down the ideas that can be implemented, and I would like to organize efficient communication within a team. But I do not have a team. I will talk about it a bit later. Okay, let's see. I guess I should have pressed forward. Yes, of course I should have pressed forward. Yes. Okay. So you already know what were the problems with migraine body, and actually the last 2 days I was reading very carefully what problems people had with it. So I would like this app to be good for the patient and for the doctor. So for the patient, it would have the fast sign-in, why Smart ID, so that the person can be identified and can send reports to the doctor, and so that it would be understandable that this is this actual person with this personal code. And there will be language support, and there was also a problem for people to keep going with the diary, so there will be a bonus system, and they will get little elephants for keeping the diary, and if they get enough elephants, then they will able to, for example, set an appointment with a doctor faster, like with a neurologist, because it's really difficult in Estonia. It's easy to add an entry, so it shouldn't be so many clicks, and yeah, you can send reports to the doctor. So, and what's in it for the doctor? Can set a reminder for the patient, can share with other doctors. So if the diary was sent originally to the GP, he can send it further on. And the doctor can get an overview in whatever mode he wants it to be, like, or she wants it to be, like, for example, some diagram or just their numbers, and save reports to medical history. For example, the patients would see it also in STAE. Okay, so who am I looking for? Well, that's pretty, nothing new here. So would need a person to design. I would need at least one developer, I guess. And I would need a medical consultant. And of course, any other roles are welcome. This is just the minimum that I would need. So if you would like to make the world better with little elephants, then, join in. And the last slide. So what else could be done later when it's ready? Then we can add support of other languages, and also we can add diaries for other medical problems, like, for example, sleeping diary, because actually most of the diaries are pretty similar, and I think it could be like a global solution for this kind of problems. And I wanted to add, actually, because I noted down what jury is looking for, and it was whether it's addressing the need. Okay, I talked about it. I hope it is addressing the need. About sustainability, basically, if I get a team and if we manage to discuss how we can work together further, so this is the main goal for me, to find a team that is actually ready to work on this on long term. And I also hope that we'll be able to build some prototype and to show something on Sunday, maybe add some features. It is more about the idea, I think, at the moment, because we really don't have that much time, and team building is also kind of takes time. It's time consuming. So I don't know. The 2 minutes not up yet.
No, yeah, actually, 2 minutes are up, but since you're the first speaker and the elephant wasn't that snappy, so I decided to give you some extra minutes. But it's actually especially for the prize for being the first. So what I now ask you to do is, this is your marketing space. So this flip chart is where you can persuade people that they should join your team and help them understand what your idea is all about, and also what kind of people you are looking for. Okay. So while we have the other person pitching on the stage, then you'll have the opportunity to create the poster. Let's bring an applause for our first presenter as well. And your special notes, yes, indeed. So, this is our first pitch, and we are looking for next persons to join us here on the stage. Who wants to be here? As a remark, it usually gets more difficult in the end, so it's always good to be here on the stage at first. Yes, let's welcome the second presenter on the stage. And show me which one. Yes, Med-Aid. Waking up all the people who fell asleep during the live transmission. Wake up! So, this is forward. Okay. All good. Yep.
Are we going to say ready, set, go? Okay. Dear audience, my name is Kasper Buksund. Good evening. And I'm representing a startup company named Med-Aid. So I'm going to quickly tell what Med-Aid is about. So we are building an intelligent communication tool between the patients and the doctors. So the patients can describe their symptoms before they go to the doctor. So we can collect information to make initial decisions. For example, pre-order analysis or assign questionnaires. Also, it will give a better and more accurate overview of the patient and make the digitalization process faster. Also, after the appointment, the connection between the patient and the doctor doesn't finish with the appointment. It will go on, and we will integrate the prevention and feedback system where the patient can give feedback on how the treatment is going. Is the treatment successful or not? And the prevention system is about educating the patient. And the patient will have access to educational material assigned to the patient related to the diagnosis. So how are we planning to solve the situation about the migraine? So the main goal also, which makes it easy for us, is that we have to integrate it into our system. We don't have to build a new system, is that we plan to integrate the questionnaire for migraine diagnosis. So when the patient comes and describes the symptoms related to the migraine, the patient is already automatically asked to fill out the questionnaire about the migraine. Also, after the appointment, we plan to integrate the diary into monitoring system, and which will give up-to-date feedback on the treatment to the doctor. And also, as previously mentioned, the helpful guidelines and educational materials about the diagnosis. So, quickly, our team on the hackathon. First, me, Kasper Buksund, as already mentioned. I'm leading this team, and with me there's going to be Gert Petkin, and we have two advisors / patients, Carlos and Mailis Reinbaum. So what we are looking for: developers, user experience designers, of course, primary care doctors in the first level, migraine specialists, and of course more patients to describe their experience on this. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Gaspar. So you already, to some extent, have an existing team and you want to expand that idea. What is the current phase that you are with this idea? How much have you put already the hours into this idea?
Well, it's pretty much in the beginning phase, but we already have a platform to already insert this questionnaire, for example. So for this hackathon, what our aim is to do is to integrate this questionnaire into our platform.
Okay. If anyone wants to grab a quick question, there's an opportunity for that. If you feel that you can do it in person later on, then no need for that. All right, Kasper, then I invite you to head for the flip chart and use your marketing space, and then invite all the team members in. We have the next presenter here. No, it's Kaspar's teammate. Yes. You like have your first team member running in already. Very effective presentation. Next, please. Who wants to be on the stage and invite people to join their team? Yeah, one at a time, please. Yes. Come. A lot of people are running and everyone wants to be on the stage. Can you point out which one of the... Oh, this... Hinf. Pitch for Hinf. Good. Duplicate. All good.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Again, it's me again. I'm Paula, and I'm here now, finally, to introduce you our company and our product called HINF, short for Health Information. HINF is a medical platform that connects patients with their medical care teams. So when I looked at the migraine hackathon, I wasn't sure if we fit in this problem area. So I tried to look up different problems that the patients have, just in case to see what the main focus points were. And the first one, these were the main 6 ones that caught my eye. There were not enough specialists. It's difficult to correctly diagnose for GPs and family doctors, and patients do not recognize the seriousness and do not have the correct knowledge to make necessary lifestyle changes. Then the other part was that the currently available apps were apparently uncomfortable to use. Hence, a lot of patients tend to write down their health diary on papers, which is difficult to share. And the available platforms, none of them were in Estonian or Russian. And actually, these are all problems that we can solve with HINF. So HINF, as I said before, connects patients with their medical care teams. And I can't talk too much right now, but the 3 main functions that we have is firstly a monitoring tool. It's easy for the patient to record data, and for the doctor or the entire care team, nurse, physician, whoever else, to get the overview of the patient's health. We also offer then digital appointments, doing what the patients can share their medical data with their care teams. And, freedom to connect. And those digital appointments actually are recorded as official appointments at the clinics. They're not just online appointments with an online doctor, they're actual appointments. And then the last bit is smart notifications, where we have necessary notifications specifically for different diagnoses. So for migraine patients, it can be reminders to report back about their health. It can be reminders about their medications, and reminders whenever they have a migraine attack to report back during that, if possible. So we have been working on it for 2 years now. We have worked with several different hospitals all over the world. We have done 15 market researches to make sure that our platform fits in different countries, in different hospitals, and also that it can be modified to different diagnoses. We're here, the 3 of us. I would call myself the entrepreneur then. Then up there is also medical Dr. King, who is the doctor. And then we have Donald Demusk, who is the IT guy. And it's just the 3 of us for this weekend. But thank you for listening, and good luck again to the contestants.
Just to specify, are you looking for new team members as well, or do you already feel that you have an amazing team?
Well, of course we have an amazing team, but we would like to have Android developers, if there are any here. And we're also looking for great business minds. So, yeah, thank you.
Android developers and business. By the way, business mind people in this room? Okay, some were like, kind of business. I'm not sure my other company went to bankrupt, but yeah. Well, that still counts. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you.
And if you want to have some personal one-on-one questions, then feel free to do it during the expo round. Next on stage, who do we have? Please join us. Yes, please. Let's welcome him with a welcoming applause. And the link, yeah, I'll set it up.
So another Friday, another hackathon. I'm Preet. I'm from a startup called Dermtest. Dermtest is most known for teledermatology. But today we're talking about another tool that we have. The tool is called DecDoc. And what Dermtest does is actually we empower family doctors, GPs, with different tools which help them to diagnose and treat their patients better. And during the last, actually this innovation event, we worked on COPD, a disease called in Estonian krooniline kopsuhaigus. And we developed, or kind of like a tool spun out of this event, which helps to which helps family doctors to evaluate the severity of their patient's disease more easily. So basically, we have a platform which helps to document the questionnaire, to add the result to their EHR, and also to add the results to the referral documents, so to manage the patients better. And here we have taken a really simple task to add migraine questionnaire, to develop a really good migraine questionnaire into this platform, test it and launch it. And we need the help of family doctors and neurologists who could help to develop this questionnaire. And otherwise we have a great team here, and hope that this will be a great event for us. And my mother and my sister have migraine, so that's also the reason I'm here. Thanks.
Once again, you have an existing team. Who are you looking for? Who should join your team here?
GPs and neurologists develop this questionnaire.
Okay, GPs and neurologists. All right. Yeah, and if you want to see a demo during the expo time, then you'll be able to show that on a tablet as well, the existing solution that you have.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you. Grab a poster and market your idea to attract those to join. Next on the stage, who do we have? Yes, coming. Which one shall I? Let's see. Let's see. It moves. Okay, yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jorge from Spain. I'm a physiotherapist. I'm also very interested in neuroscience and all chronic pain conditions related education. I've been doing it for a while, helping in different projects in Australia, England, Spain, and other things. As you can see, I think that I got a cool idea, and hopefully you are going to agree with that. Apart from being a physiotherapist, I have had a chronic condition myself, and I couldn't find any reliable information online, and that's one of the main problems we health professionals have, and patients as well. So I started some time ago with this idea, putting together social media, education, and research to see what I could get. So my idea is basically creating evidence-based and easy to understand visual content to improve migraine patient education, and now I'm going to leave you with the virtual me that is going to be the one who is going to explain if it works.
Education at a glance. Let's help patients understand migraine. The problem we have is unreliable online information, reduced time for one-to-one education, and migraine is the most costly neurological disorder. The possible solution is building bridges between researchers, clinicians, and patients. Our aim being that patients go from dependence to awareness, self-management, and confidence, and improve cost-effectiveness. How? With infographics, videos, and all the references they are based on, as part of an online platform. All approved by researchers, clinicians, and patients. And it can also be used offline. Our contents on different conditions have been used in congresses and physio clinics in Australia, England, Finland, Spain, etc., as well as scientific journals and online platforms. I am looking for a doctor, a patient, and an IT business person to apply this idea this weekend to help people with migraine.
Well, and that's it. I say we, but it's actually me, okay? And that guy is also me. Yeah, well, I have been working on this, but I usually collaborate with different researchers in different countries, so I do create the content, and they basically approve it, and they have created some platforms already, sorry for the time, about to try and improve osteoarthritis education, and now they are working, or we are working on chronic lower back pain as well. Both of them are made in Australia, well, worldwide, because obviously I'm not in Australia. And yeah, hopefully you like the idea and you join my team. Thank you.
Thank you, Jorge. We do have some idea owners in the room who wants to be next on the stage. Please join us. Yes. Can you shout your name on the Yes. Set the mic ready.
Okay. So pleasure to be here. We're Axis Mundi, which is Latin and means connector of the world. We do six-dimensional holographic blockchain technologies that is basically mental vibrations with the brain. And actually one of the things that we've come across is either these cause headache or they heal headache when we start teaching people how to live in the blockchain world. We do enhanced reality applications also and smartware products with vibrations and emotions for healing purposes. We got a platform, this spaceage.guru, where we got plenty of code ready that might be used properly for this migraine self-assessment tool as an analyzing it and how to heal yourself. Since the goal is to heal yourself and not just to prolong the state of migraine. So yes, I'm by myself here from the team. We got like 30 people with contracts, and yeah, this felt like a really nice opportunity for us since, like I said, migraine is either one of the things that blockchain causes or what blockchain heals. So I guess I'm in the right source then.
Just to clarify, specifically, who do you need in your team? You say you have like 30 people with your contracts already, and I remind you, you need at least 3 people in the team to continue with the idea. So who are the 2 people you need more?
Let's say a doctor and a patient.
Okay, and during the expo you'll be willing to demonstrate the existing product? Yeah. Okay, cool. So use that poster please to explain your idea and who you are looking for in your team. And Axis Mundi, all right. Next on stage we do have a couple of more ideas. Who wants to come? This was different a bit. So we have one video pitch as well. Oh, yes. Yes. The mic. Kirsika here on stage.
Hello everybody, my English is not very good looking, hope you will forgive me. My name is Kirsika and I'm 33 years old and I'm having migraine attacks and it started when I was around 12 or 13 years old. 2003, 15 years ago, I got diagnosed migraine with aura. Migraine may have a pattern. Observing migraine gives information, and it is possible to analyze this. The goal is to give better treatment and to prevent migraine attacks. Analyze gives possible suggestion for changing lifestyle and subordination to treatment. Sleep quality is one important aspect of a day. So it would be nice if there is a diary app that asks, how do you feel today? And here are options. Normal sleep is 7 to 9 hours. Lack of sleep causes physical and mental damages. Also strain, which may lead to migraine. I also made here headache level. Green, yellow, orange, and red. It depends. For example, for green, you have pain, aura, or for women, menses. Yellow plus adding, nausea, vomiting, fragrance intolerance. Orange, noise and light sensitivity. And red one, you might need doctor help or ER or ambulance. Because 10 or to 15 times in a month to take painkillers or having deleted 2 or 3 years days of your life is not normal. Marking, mapping, sleep activity, headache level, etc. And overriving for better treatment, for preventing, for possible successions, and so on. And by awareness, what can I do, what can I avoid, and what should I not eat because some food causes headaches, migraines as triggers, and what can I do to prevent. This app will analyze and preventing and gives me observation about it for better life quality. Thank you.
Who are you looking for in your team?
I'm alone. At the moment, I don't have anybody. So
What do you need?
I need somebody who make this app happen.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Like tech people and design people.
And development, I think.
All right. So after we have the expo time, so you can dive in what are the specific functions, and remember, you need 3 of you in your team. So all of the presenters, to go on with the idea, you need 3 team members altogether. Thank you, Kirsikka. Please use the poster to attract the team members that you're looking for. Do we have the next presenter ready? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Tarmo, and I'm from a company called Minodoc. So, Minodoc is a virtual clinic, basically. This is the platform where a patient can meet a doctor via video call or chat. And our vision is that we should be the fast track to solving your migraine health problems. What we need, we have already existing app, and we have more than 40 doctors who have joined us, but we don't have anyone from neurology field. And secondly, we would like to expand the functionality of the app so that it's a bit more smarter. So what we'd like to build in is a self-anamnesis tool. Here you can see that one thing we want to build here is a virtual avatar where you can actually point to the specific problems you have. And in the case your problem is upper here, it goes into self-anamnesis tool, and it should be something along the line of chat, whereby you can check your symptoms, and on top of that, this smartness should lead to either you need to meet a neurologist or a nurse. So in a way, it's a triage tool as well. Most of the components we already have in the system, but we don't have the smart side of here. and we would like to find team members who can help us to develop that smartness. So we believe it should be a neurologist either, but also we need technical people who would help to develop the front end, a little bit of back end as well.
Dharma, do you have existing team members with you here today, or?
Yes, we have a couple of people.
Okay, so you're already certainly in with having at least 3 persons, and you're looking for those who want to further develop the app. That's
Right.
the case.
Exactly.
Right. Thank you, Dharma.
Thank you.
Next on stage, who wants to join us to pitch their idea? Please.
Hello, my name is Gülara. I am from Azerbaijan. Our team loves simplicity. That's why we don't use a presentation. And during a few days, we tried to research some applications. We did some interviews with scientists, and we found that there are several applications, there are several web tools, and try to solve this problem. We decided to make a simpler solution. But, and what can be the simple solution for this problem? We decided to avoid application. We decided not to build an application. We use Google Assistant as a diary, and by machine learning, we will try to analyze the diary and predict the migraine by a simple solution. With that simple solution. So we have developer, designer, healthcare specialist, a patient with migraine, and I guess we are full, but if anyone who wants to join us, we are open to talk. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. So you have an existing team, but you're open for new team members. Okay, you can write that on the poster to invite team members in. Is there anyone here who hasn't presented yet? Any more ideas? There should be some, but I have also one idea from very, very far away, from Miguel Angarita, and since he's so far away, then he sent us a video to pitch the idea.
My name is Miguel Angarita. Founder of MedPipe, which is a healthcare startup company. I want to present Brain Suite, our idea for the hackathon. I'm a radiologist, e-health expert, and Google Suite administrator. The idea for migraine is the variation of a chronic disease where doctor need to decide a treatment between a chronic migraine into a tension type 1, and also the lack of access to real-time health data generated by patients on daily basis. Our idea is to build a hospital-grade data cloud by using Google Cloud Healthcare API, and then sync patient real data by creating access to Google Suite account plus voice action using Google. We are creating this by our startup plus an on-demand product design company. For the hackathon, we want to get advice in neurology to define the medical variables to build the phenotype of the dashboard, and then to calculate the quality function deployment to the solutions. And upon that, we can build the UX UID for the website, for doctor dashboard, and for patients Google Access, both for voice actionable knowledge and for Google accounts by using Google Web Interface but we don't want to build an app for that. Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Miguel.
So Miguel isn't here in person, but if you want to get in touch with him, then Google the name Miguel Angarita, and also live feed.
The live feed. It's he's from Colombia, so it's -7 hours, and it's noon or midday right now.
So what he said, he's mostly looking for advice, not necessarily a team member, and we actually have mentors and those who are willing to have a Skype chat with him during the weekend. But if you somehow feel it really resonated with you, is there a chance to somehow join Miguel's work, or just by Skype? Or
Yeah, by Skype, and also he's looking for mentor help.
So mostly he's for mentor help, but probably it's more convenient to do some teamwork in person here on this hackathon. But just in case, if you want to dive in with Miguel, then find him online. We should have one more idea. Yes, I was expecting you. Join us on the stage, please.
I just got idea.
Oh, you just got an idea?
Yeah.
Sure.
Hello everyone, my name is Ismail. I am backend developer, and I think today there is enough for diary apps, and I want to challenge second objective of our hackathon, which is detection of migraine, not tracking. I have an idea. I read about migraine, and I found some scientific research about dependency between the diameter of people. Like if someone have migraine, there is scientific research, and their people increase. And depending on light, like looks intensive of light, their people increase for a particular millimeter. And there is a graph actually which indicates that dependency. So basically my idea is to develop Android application which will send flashlight to the people who's supposed to have migraine, and depending on the dimension of their diameter of their eye, to detect for sure that do they have migraine or it is just ordinary headache. So that's it. We need in my team UX designer and people who are good in medicine, and also business persons. So thank you for attention.
All clear. So last chance to join us here on the stage. Whoever feels they want to present an idea, please stand up and do it now. If you feel that your idea wasn't among them, you want to go some other way, yes, join us. Let's welcome her with an applause.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening. I come from China, and my name is Ruxin. I just got this idea when I was sitting there talking with the lovely lady, and she told me something about, you know, someone with the migraine, what they're gonna feel like mentally or physically. So I was just thinking that probably any kind of app is not good enough, because all we need is that if I have a migraine just like out of a sudden, I don't really want to touch my phone. Probably I just want to, you know, get some sleep over there. So how can we like manage to recording the illness while we lying on the bed, don't want to touch our phone? So I was just thinking, probably we should have an intelligent speaker. I mean, like a real speaker, we could literally interact with it. Like, for example, I say, okay, I'm not feeling good. Probably this migraine again, and like how severe it is. Like I would give a ranking like from 0 to 10, I would say like 6 or 7. So no matter what kind of language you're using, like English, Ukrainian, or Russian, like Estonian, whatever, because we have like big data, like AI, this technology. It could actually like intelligently detect what kind of language you're using and just record your feeling, like the date, like the, let's say like how severe you feel during the migraine. So probably we just need a programmer for that application, because we are gonna have some application on the phone at the same time, but you don't really need to open the application. Just use the speaker. You could actually interact with it, and it would detect what you say to it and just record it like autonomously. So you don't really need to use a phone to record it. Well, basically that's it. Thank you.
So a very fresh idea. Okay, so, and you're looking for developers on the tech side and also perhaps to get some feedback during the expo moment for the idea. Do you have any questions you want to ask from Roxanne about the idea here in front?
Probably later.
All right, later. Yeah. Thank you. So use that poster to attract team members for some reason. All right, last chance. Who wants to be here on the stage? Who wants to have their idea further developed? Speak now, or be silent for the next couple of days. Basically, the question is, have all of you found that, oh, I want to join that team? If you haven't found a team that you want to join in, if you haven't found a team that you believe in, now it's your time to step up and create a new team. Is there something missing? Is there something that could actually work but wasn't addressed in these ideas? And we don't know if it works. That's what this weekend is all about. We test it out. Is there something that you feel that it might work? I'll just shout it out. If no one believes it works, then I'll just join some other team. But is there something on your mind now? Three, 2, 1. You want to send him? Would you like to share your idea? Okay. Just giving this moment for if anyone feels. We have 11 ideas, if I recorded them correctly. We should have 12 of them. Okay. I didn't record one of them then. That's the magic one. That's probably the team that's actually going to win in the end. The next phase is that we're going to create this idea expo, which means that all the idea owners will be hanging around with their posters on a specific spot and inviting everyone to join in. So make sure that on the posters it's easy to understand what it is that you want to do and who you are looking for. And we invite all of you to walk around, to have a conversation with the people, and if you feel that I'm interested in being in that team, I want to join your team, and if that person is willing to take you to that team, then write your name on that poster as well. And as a kind reminder, we need at least 3 members for each team. If you're all alone, that's like, no, can't do it. If there's 2 of you, that's still kind of can't do it. But if there's at least 3 of you, then it's good. The maximum number of team members we estimate is about maximum 8 or something, not more. Otherwise, it will become too big and so forth. So, it will be expo time. I will set the timer for starting out with about 30 minutes just to go walk around, get to know the ideas, and if you really feel that I want to join that idea, ask them to write it down. All the idea owners, please join us back here in the venue and find yourself a spot to put your poster. And for all of those who are looking for a team, that during those 30 minutes, walk around, get to know the ideas. Try to find the idea that you would like to join and develop during this hackathon.